Okay, morning guys. I'm back again with another market forecast. So, here's the market forecast with the best indicator that works, Ichimoku. Why does it work? Because it just does. Out of all the indicators I've tried, this indicator works. So we'll start by looking at the pound CAD. So you can see we've made a high here and we started moving down, and now we're just about to pull back to this Tenkan Sen. There's fractals here, so we may pull back as far as that level. I can't see us pulling back any further than that level though, there, where I've put that line. So yeah, I mean, I always use this Ichimoku because it does work. And I've tried many different indicators over the years, and this one works the best. I mean, yeah, I mean you can trade with moving averages or MACD or stochastics, but they only seem to show one thing, per indicator. With this Ichimoku system, you've got at least 5 different things. You've got your Tenkan Sen, your Kijun Sen, your Chiku span, and your Senko span A and B, which makes up the cloud. So it is worth learning this Ichimoku, and I get consistent, reliable results from using the Ichimoku system. So that's why I think it's the best indicator by far, because it produces the results at the end of the day. And that's what I've used for probably the last 10 years. So, I mean, I've been trading about 20 years, but before I started using Ichimoku, I did use the stochastics, and I had okay results. I traded stocks as well, but I studied more than just the technical analysis. I was studying fundamental analysis for a while, and then I moved into Forex. And after trading stocks for about 10 years, I moved into Forex. Didn't like Forex at first. It just looked too unpredictable. When you trade in stocks, the stocks tend to be slightly more predictable. I mean, obviously the move more with news, stocks and things like that. Fundamental things. But then I moved into Forex, took the plunge into Forex, and it was a rocky time for a few months, and then when I got going, I started using Ichimoku and learnt the system, and I've never looked back really. So that's why I think it's the best indicator anyway, and it works for me. I suppose you could make any indicator work for you, as long as you know it inside and out. A lot of trading is just psychological, so you could have the best indicator in the world and still lose if you haven't got the right mindset that you need. So anyway, that's just a bit about why I think the Ichimoku is the best indicator. It's because the Ichimoku is a system as well. I don't think it's just one indicator, it's a whole system. You know, I mean, you've got your 5 elements that make it up, and using that in conjunction with price action and fractals. And like I've said in an earlier video, I do throw a momentum indicator on, such as a CCI, now and again, just to find see if there's any divergence, but I don't get too hung up on divergence. I only put a CCI on or a momentum indicator very rarely. So anyway, let's get back to this then. I would recommend you learning this Ichimoku system if you don't already know about it or you don't use it. I would recommend learning it because it is a good system to use, and it's given me consistent results over the last 10 years. I'm able to, you know, live comfortably off what I make from trading. So, you know, it's I mean, you still get losers. I mean, there's no system where you won't get losers. There's no system that's 100% winners. You know, we all seem to try and look for that system that wins all 100% of the time, but there isn't a system. Well, I've not found. I've been trading 20 years, and I've never found anything that works 100% of the time. So basically, we just use what we've got, and for me, this Ichimoku system. So anyway, so we'll look at this pound CAD. It looks like it's pulling back. It's made a low here. It's the same thing all the time as well with this Ichimoku system. You know, we wait for pullbacks. We wait for bounces and breaks off Tenkan-sen and Kijun-sen. All these different trading opportunities. We wait for bounces and breaks off the cloud. And that's it, you know. There's no messing about with, you know, loads of different indicators or, you know, waiting for certain things to happen and, you know, crosses and things like that. Then you could trade with just 2 moving averages on your chart. And that, I mean, to be honest, the Tenkan-sen and Kijun-sen are just moving averages anyway. But we use the Tenkan-sen and Kijun-sen in conjunction with everything else on Ichimoku. So we're not just trading 2 moving averages, but you can be profitable with 2 moving averages. Like I say, I was profitable when I was trading stocks using stochastics. But like I say, I used a bit of fundamental analysis as well. You know, so, and I used to use price action entries as well. But the stocks move really slow. I mean, to be honest, I think Forex moves quite slow now, but compare the Forex to the stocks, I mean, stocks are ridiculously slow moving. Could be waiting weeks, months sometimes for trades to work out with stocks. And that's one of the reasons I moved into Forex. And when I first moved into Forex, it seemed very erratic and difficult to read. But after a while, I mean, you know, you just get used to it. So anyway, that's just went off on a bit of a tangent there, but I just thought I'd give you a reason, basically, why I use the Ichimoku all the time. Very rarely do I take Ichimoku off the chart. I'll only take Ichimoku off the chart really if it's if the price is in a range, because we don't use Ichimoku in ranging markets anyway. It's no good. So we have to just trade off the price action anyway, and we trade ranges, you know, in a different fashion. So we're looking for this to either bounce off Tenkan-sen, give us some price action to be able to get us into the trade, you know, with an outside bar or, you know, a big pin bar or, you know, bearish engulfing or something like that, price action wise. Probably where this line is. It'd be nice if we get a wick right above Tenkan Sen, and then we can take the break below. Okay, basic price action entry. Quick look at this New Zealand dollar, Japanese yen. I've put a line on here. Basically, we want to break below that and close below it, and even if we do that, we've still got a potential bottom here, support level here. So we'd have to get through that as well. So I don't really see an opportunity on this pair at the moment, although it is bouncing off Tenkan Sen. But like I say, we need to get through this. We need to get through this level at least. Notice how, and I don't look at other time frames either. Oh, and I'll just mention this as well. I did mention it last time, but this is the daily Kijun Sen. So I just keep this on my chart, this dotted blue line. That's the daily Kijun Sen. And because there's 6 4-hour candles in a day, I just multiply the Ichimoku setting by 6, and I take all the other elements off, and then I just leave the Kijun Sen on, multiply by 6, and it gives me this daily Kijun Sen. So I don't have to go backwards and forwards, between time frames, back to the daily and back to the 4-hour and things like that. So that's just what that is, and it's miles away at the moment, so we're well under that. So we're bearish. We've got a bearish cloud, and you can see Chiku span's tangled up in price here. That's probably why we're having some difficulty getting through. But it's just poked its nose through there and broken through. So we might see some downside to that. So move to the pound Aussie. Pound Aussie, we reached this low here, and now we've moved back to Tenkan Sen. Again, we same thing again. Same thing over and over. We want a bounce. We want some sort of price action here off Tenkan Sen. Nice tight stop loss, probably 30-40 pips, and trade to the downside. It does look a bit volatile here. You can see, look, the Tenkan Sen's flattened, Kijun Sen's flattened, the daily Kijun Sen's started to flatten, and the clouds starting to get thicker, which indicates volatility. And basically we reached this bottom here and we've bounced up, so we could pull all the way back up to Kijun Sen. So I'd be cautious of this one, this opportunity. And as I've said before, I don't take many Tenkan Sen bounce trades anyway, unless I can get a really good stop loss of about 20-25 pips, then I might do. Okay. So that's the pound Aussie. Australian dollar, US dollar. We reached the top of the cloud here, and we bounced. We made a big pin bar. We moved back down. Now we've moved back up to that level again, and now we've moved back down again. So we could get a bounce off the cloud here. There, where I've put that line. So if we get a nice price action signal there, we want to be getting a bullish cover, dark cloud cover on this, or something like that, or a bullish engulfing. We've got the TK cross. We've flattened out on Tenkan Sen and Kijun Sen. We've flattened out on the cloud. So we just need to wait for some price action here now. We've got this level here, so as long as we've got a level, we just wait for some price action. And this seems to be a good level, because you can see we touched there, and there. We always need to look left as well, see where we've touched before, to find out how strong the level is. And you can see we're very close to this daily Kijun Sen as well on this. So that could be a very strong level. That blue dotted line, blue dashed line, that's the daily Kijun Sen. So this level could be strong. So that's that. US dollar CAD. Again, we've got the blue dotted line, dashed line, which is the daily Kijun Sen. We're trying to get through that daily Kijun Sen at the moment. That's why it's useful putting this daily Kijun Sen on. I don't have to keep going to and fro from different time frames. I can just put this on and I can see really what I'm doing without going backwards and forwards. We've had the TK cross. We've just started to flatten out on the Tenkan Sen and Kijun Sen. We've got the bearish future, although the cloud's starting to flatten a bit, and Chico's in the middle of the cloud. So Chico's out. That's okay, as long as Chico's not tangled up in price. So this could be just a straightforward down, up, down, which is a 1, 2, 3, 4 pattern. Okay, that's something else I don't get too wrapped up in either, with A, B, C and D and 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't get wrapped up in all that because there's no reason really. I just look at what's happening at the current moment. Yeah, we know it's moved up here this high to make a 1, but you're just numbering things, that's all. We don't really need to number things. We can see what's happening. Some traders will say 1, 2, 3 and 4. Okay? Or 1, 2, 3, 4. So if we're looking at this, that would be 1 there. 2. We'll look for 3 and then look for price action and move down to 4. And usually the move down, the target, is the same length. I'll just put this on. Usually. So that leg there, 135 pips from that high to that low. We get a pullback. So we'll get another, let's say it pulls back to that Tenkan Sen, we'd get 135 pips again. That's the first target. Again, you don't hear me talking about targets very often because it's just a target. I like something more solid. Yeah, we can bear in mind that that's the target and we can put a line on. So I think it was about there. So that's what we could aim for, but there's a big difference between aiming for something and actually getting there, in my opinion. So I'll just show you again. Target A to B equals C to D, they say. So A to B, that's about 135, 140 pips. A, B equals C to D. So that, if it pulls back to there, which would be, if that's A, that's B, and that's C, D's down here. So let's say it pulls back to that area, which would be C. It'd probably move down. I'm a bit short with my line, it's a bit further down, it's about there. About 140 pips. So, that's how we find targets. You don't hear me talking about targets much because it's just targets, Anybody could just put random lines there. So that would be the target that we could aim for. But during this time we might get 2 or 3 pullbacks, especially on lower time. If you're a trader that goes to a lower time frame, we could have 2 or 3 pullbacks in that time. So it's whether you stay in those pullbacks and stick to this this target. Like I say, there's targets worth bearing in mind, but I don't get too hung up on those. Okay, so that's the 5 pairs that I can see that offer any sort of opportunity at the moment. I did have a quick look through the pairs before I started today, just to find the ones that had something going on. All the other pairs I looked at are not too good. You can see we're just ranging between Aussie, New Zealand, between that high and that high, so there's nothing really there. Nothing really on this pair, because we're between these levels, and we're not, even if we move to the downside here, I wouldn't take this trade because we're not close enough to any sort of level like Tenkan-sen or Kijun-sen, and there's all this garbage here which puts me off. So like I say, there's not many opportunities on the horizon this morning, but I'll keep checking, and like I say, every week if I see anything else I'll post it, or make a video or something. But you know, if you enjoy these videos and you'd like me to make more, please give me a like or comment, or subscribe. Even if there's something you don't like, tell me about it and I'll try and improve. Okay, so I'll see you next time. Bye.